Good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Emma Davis. A look at our stories. Concerns about inflation outlook has forced the Bank of Ghana to keep the policy rate unchanged. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana left the rate at which it lends to commercial banks at 30%. George Uafe was at the Monetary Policy Committee press conference and has filed this report.
Addressing the media here at the boardroom of the Bank of Ghana, Governor Dr. Ernest Addison maintained that development on the global market ensure that they should still watch the space before they react when it comes to the policy rate.
But core inflation remains high and is declining slowly due to strong labor markets. In the outlook, central banks are expected to maintain policy rates at high levels for much longer periods to contain the still elevated inflation levels relative to targets. The prevailing higher policy rates, long-term bond yields, and renewed strength of the US dollar could continue to keep global financing conditions tight, with consequences for emerging market and developing economies.
The governor has also been updating us on the latest on the meetings with the external creditors, whether the funds will come in as required from the IMF when it comes to the second disbursement.
I can tell you that from the last briefing that I had, things were moving relatively well. Over the weekend, we all saw the news of Zambia and what had occurred regarding the restructuring process in Zambia, because the creditors cannot agree on who takes a bigger haircut. This is really, should it be the bilateral creditors or the bondholders? And unfortunately, this has occurred in the case of Zambia. We are hoping that that will not happen with the discussions on Ghana.
He's also been speaking about what should we expect or the timing for the cocoa loan syndication and whether it will indeed come on this year as expected.
We expect the cocoa syndicated loan to come in before the end of the year. I have talked to Cocoa Board and they are very hopeful that the loan will be disbursed sooner rather than later.
Reacting to this development, Economist Dr. Patrick Esuming welcomed the hold in the policy rate, but warns cost of credit will continue to remain high. He's been speaking to Joy Business.
I think that the policy rate will be reduced, even though inflation is trending now. You have to understand that we are way off where we should be going to the medium term. I mean, way beyond our medium term target. And we haven't gotten to a stage where we can even begin to think that there's time for us to ease off. So I think, the decision to hold the rate is just about what I was expecting. I think the cost of credit will remain high for the foreseeable future, even if they start, easing up the policy rate, reducing it. We cannot expect that it is going to go down substantially. That's not how central bankers act. You take small steps and you observe its impact on the economy, and then you decide. The other side is the general uncertainty and risk associated with doing business in the country. It's not just the policy rate that goes into the pricing of loans. You have to understand that if risk of giving loans, if NPLs are rising, you expect that banks will add a higher risk premium to the cost of credit. So all put together, I don't think the cost of credit is going to come down anytime soon.
The total mobile money transactions in the first 10 months of this year reached a record 1.527 trillion cedis. That's according to data from the Bank of Ghana. This is compared with about 844.97 billion cedis. There's more in this report.
In the first 8 months of 2023, the total mobile money transactions stood at 1.19 trillion cedis. However, the months of September and October, the value of transactions were estimated at 157 billion and 179 billion cedis, respectively. The figures from the central bank show that the month of October recorded the biggest mobile money transaction transaction value. From the figures, month-on-month money transactions have been exceeding 130 billion cedis. However, it is unclear whether the government is meeting the electronic transfer levy target for 2023. On January 11, 2023, the government reduced the tax rate on electronic transactions from 1.5% to 1%. There has since been calls for the rate to be reduced further to 0.5% to encourage many people to avoid dodging payment of the levy.
Now, Cowbank, as part of efforts to expose and support their customers to go global with their businesses, has organized a cooperation meeting between Turkish and Ghanaian businesses in Istanbul. At the second edition of Cowbank's Trade Delegation B2B meetings in Turkey, businesses from both countries came together to explore potential partnerships, collaborations, and trade opportunities. Over 30 Ghanaian businessmen and women, all customers of Cowbank, participated in the business trip facilitated by Latina Travel and Tours. There's more in the following report.
The Trade Delegation B2B, held in collaboration with DAIC Turkey Ghana Business Council, served as a platform for companies to discuss and establish business relations, exchange information, and explore mutual interests. Head of Business Banking at Cowbank, Daniel Apia, explained the initiative.
Cowbank, for a long time, actually 30 plus years in Ghana, has been at the forefront of business support. How we can support businesses in Ghana to go global and do very well. And you know, association brings us results. And the fact that businesses can associate with Cowbank all over the world gives them credibility. So one of the key things for us for doing this, and this is the second one, and it's not going to be the last one, there's going to be a lot more, has been about exposing businesses who form part of the Cowbank business to businesses out there, especially introducing them to businesses in Turkey. You know, Turkey has become the new frontier in terms of local business and SMEs. So to find ways and means of introducing them to big players in the Turkish business industry, to help them to be able to, you know, form alliances and partnerships that will help their businesses grow.
He further explained that the objective of the cooperation meeting between Turkish and Ghanaian companies, apart from facilitating networking and interaction between these businesses, are also to open trade and investment opportunities where companies discuss potential agreements, import and export opportunities, and investment prospects. Daniel Apia said that Cowbank's B2B in Turkey is also to help participants gain insight into the business environment in each country.
In as much as we are looking at meeting businesses here, businesses from Ghana, who some are also into production, also looking at export as well into this frontier. Whereas those of them who buy goods and machinery and services from Turkey are also looking for cheaper ways of doing business. And what is better than partnering with a brand like Cowbank, which gives them credibility out here, so that it helps them to be able to form those partnerships.
Daniel Apia is certain more businesses will join the Cowbank B2B meetings next year to explore strategies for entering and expanding their presence in the global space.
That's how we draw the curtains on Prime Business Tonight with me, Emma Davis. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Do have a good evening.